to be a rumor mill, and we don't need families, or not even families. We don't need the information for families. We need to keep that private. But information will go out to families. The consideration to dismiss a cohort related to this suspected case, we will use the guidance of the health official. If it's a suspected case, they will give us guidance whether, yes, it's definitely something you should dismiss, or they'll say, well, wait until there's a confirmed case. In that event, we would communicate with the parents that there is a suspected case in this cohort and allow parents to make that decision on keeping them home or sending them. But that does come down to the health officials' guidance. And then we would then, before bringing the cohort back, we would evaluate to see if there's other cases and if any other cases have been identified within that cohort before bringing them back. Right now, I think the Archdiocese is saying 2 to 5 days for the cohort to be home, and that's determined on the information that we are able to get from whether it was positive case, any other cases pop up. But with that, we do use the guidance from the health officials. And let me make sure there's no questions. And then my last slide is just says items that are still in the works, and there's many items that are still in the works. There are many procedures that we will be looking at and making sure will work. There will be things that we think will work, and then we decide we have to relook at that. We are being very thorough with this process. We are following the guidance of the Archdiocese, and as everything changes, I think I get an email from various sources saying this has now changed, this has now changed. We are relying very much on the most up-to-date information and the discussions within the Catholic Schools Onward Task Force. Our plan is to still have before and after school care. We are not sure how that will work because the idea is that we are keeping our cohorts. And so we are looking at and exploring our options for before and after school care in order to maintain those cohorts as best as possible. So those plans are coming. But the general working of the school day needed to be figured out first. And then after school activities, I know band meets before school. And so our band program is working with the band program is working with the Archdiocese on how that would look for schools. They would be able to cohort for lessons, and they would be able to social distance for lessons, but before band, and they will be giving us their directions that they are clearing with the Archdiocese. What happens if an affected child has a sibling in another cohort? If a cohort the siblings one has been a hot button item. The siblings, if a sibling has the possible case, the sibling would have to also be isolated. And that's where we would rely on what that contact tracing. So who's all been involved with this cohort. So that one I will get more clarification on the sibling question. And then the question of is there a possibility that after school care might not be offered at all? We are making every effort to offer after school care. I have already thought of a couple of different ways that we can do that. And I just have to run it past the people that run CARES to make sure that it is possible. If the possibility of not having it would occur, I would communicate that with parents sooner rather than later, because I do know that parents would have to make decisions. But our plan right now is to have it. I will know more about that within the next week. And the idea is just figuring out how we can do the cohorts. We can also cohort by siblings also. So siblings going to aftercare could be grouped together. So there's a couple of different options that we are exploring in order to be able to offer that. We know that many families need the after school care. I mean, I'm going to need the after school care. So there are many people that need that. And so we are working on being able to offer that. But if that is at all a possibility, I would have an answer for that by the end of July, because I would want people to know that sooner rather than later. Any other questions? As I told the group last night, if you think of anything, do not hesitate to reach out. If I don't know an immediate response, I will get you a response. We are in the school office Monday through Thursday from 9 until 1. Emails, I will research and answer, get back to you. If I have the answer, this is a lot of information. It's a lot for even the Archdiocesan website. It's a lot to work through. And so that was one of the main reasons for having this, because there is the need to say, this is how this is looking right now. So the question, when do we need to decide if we want to hold our kids back for virtual learning? Once we have more of a definitive plan, you can make those decisions and let us know. And then what we'll do is work on getting the devices and textbooks that are needed for those classes to those families. And then we would work on making sure that the proper ability to work with the teachers virtually are ready to go. We'll test it out. We'll make sure that everything's working. And so we'll need a couple weeks before the start of the school year, just kind of a heads up if you're thinking that way, so that we can start making those plans. Each classroom will be set up to be able to do that. But it isn't something that we need to know today or tomorrow. This is a moving target, and it keeps shifting in every direction. So that might be something that somebody decides. If you decide to try the virtual learning for the start of the school year, and then decide this is not working and I feel comfortable sending my child in, you can make that change. We are not filling that spot. Like, your child will have a desk at school, even if they're learning at home. So there will be the ability to say, this is just not working at home and we need to make a change. And so it is the kids need the socialization, and they are definitely, that's part of the education experience. So any other questions? No? If there's no other questions, just checking to make sure. As I said, the safety committee will be meeting. I will be setting up a time to meet with them next week, and to look at and fine tune some of the details. And the drop off pickup, we'll be working on a plan and getting that out, especially so that people know how car line pickup and things like that are going to operate. We have been doing a modified car line drop off for camp. So we've been watching to see how that has been going each day. So there have been definitely some things that we've noticed that we've had to do with directing of traffic and things like that. So there are definitely some ideas that we are writing down that need to be adjusted just by seeing how things are working at camp. So anything else? As I said, I will be posting both recordings. I will send out the recordings, but I will also post them on the school website. I will also post a transcript and send out a transcript of my notes from the presentation, along with a question answer, because some of the questions that were asked, and I tried to rephrase them, some of the questions that were asked, are questions that other people may have. And so I will put the questions down and put the answers that I currently have. And I will be doing a weekly communication so that families are able to stay up to date on the latest information. And I will try to keep that to once a week, but obviously if something comes out that's major and needs to be communicated right away, I will make sure that that is communicated right away. Anything else? All right, I want to thank you for joining us. And as we get closer, if this is an easier format than sending out a big long document, I would be more than happy to do this again, just because it does give people the opportunity to ask questions in a larger group for others who may have. So if that is everything, I am going to wish you all a great weekend. I know it's only Thursday, but I hope the weather holds out. Apparently there's tropical rain or something. I don't know. But enjoy the weekend, and thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions that you think of, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are here, and I will get an answer for you in some way or another. Thank you.